Everyone. I'm Anne Delview, the author of the young adult fantasy series, A Tales of Fairy, and the first one is A Tale of Ashes. Glad I moved, so it's really convenient. It's the story of a teen journalist who's solving a case of disappearances in a world where Fae and humans live side by side. It's a little bit of CNN meets A Court of Thorns and Roses. Definitely a really good read.
Hi, I'm Hollis Joe McCullum. I just go by Hollis. Joe is my middle name, but I use it as my pen name. I write fantasy. I write two different fantasy series. One, the Rashan series, which is a classical epic fantasy with romantic subplot because I can't help myself. And, they're fantasy world, and I have Fae, but a totally different take on fairies that I had never read before, and my alpha and beta readers hadn't either. and and that sort of thing. Lots of some dark things in there, werewolves and whatever is well thrown in. And then I also do historical fantasy series, which is a little bit more dire. The Rashan series is a little lighter, more suitable for its fantasy, but more YA readers can read it. The other series, historical fantasy, Spare the Swallow, is the first one of that. I've published three books so far, and I'm about to publish my fourth on November 16th. And that one is based with like the ancient world and making it so that elves and dwarves and everything did exist at some point, and there was magic and all these other things. But I'm a historian by degree, and my degree is in world history with a specialization in the ancient Etruscans of Italy, and so I'm very into it, and that's what I write about. And if you know anything about the ancient Etruscans, you know that they built Rome and then taught the Romans everything, and then the Romans genocided them, and that's what Spare the Swallow is
I
about.
go by Paris Chanel. I've written two books. One is a humor book that looks like a children's book called The F Word. It's about a little boy who hears someone say the F word on TV and he just tries it out. And it got lumped in with children's books for whatever reason. If you see it in a library, 9 times out of 10, it's in a children's section. And I'm always like, the F word is in there. Um, so my second book actually is a children's book. It's called And Then COVID Happened. And it's really just like the time I saw, how do I say this? How I saw my son, who's 8 now. He was 4 at the time, or 3 at the time, but I mean 4 or 5 at the time, but how he just kind of dealt with COVID and all the changes that happened, remote learning and all of that. And I'm like, oh, this would make a nice relatable story. And what I've always written, what I'm writing right now, what I'm querying for right now is young adult fiction, more on the dystopian, futuristic side. And I can't wait I self-published my first 2 books. So this one I'm querying for a book deal.
What does community actually mean to you, Anne?
So community for me is definitely having that support system and having people who can be fans, but as well as being people who are just avidly supporting you throughout the whole entire writing journey, not just purchasing your book, but anything from giving you those words of encouragement throughout, or anything, or even, taking pictures of your book if they see it on shelves somewhere, or letting you know how much they appreciate you, reposting your post, any little thing. So I definitely think it's having that support system.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar. I think about community, and I think a lot about enrichment as a parallel to it, because I feel like community as a word generally translates into enrichment of yourself and enriching others in turn, and that has a lot to do with the support. So community, of course, your family can be a part of it, your friends can be a part of it, people you don't even know online can be a part of it because they'll like and share your posts and all of that. So it's just about kind of, you don't have to be in this, it used to be because there was no internet, the community was the town you lived in and the people you knew directly. But now with the internet, now community can be an ocean away, and I do love that. And you can, enrich each other from afar and have never even met. And that's beautiful. So yeah, it's all about just mutual enrichment and helping each other out.
All right.
Very similar answer to the first two ladies. I think community is that support system. My community, I met them all on social media, and these are the 7 people who share everything I post, who like everything I post. Like, I know I could depend on these 7 to share and like my stuff. And like Anne said, they can be fans or just people who click a picture if they see your book on the shelves. Like, that little stuff goes so far, and it really motivates me to like just keep going, keep pushing, because someone's inspired and watching. And yeah, so that's my definition of community. People who they're not necessarily around, but they seem around because they're the first to like, first to share, first to engage. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. First to buy, or do they get it for free?
You know what? Some get it for free at this point. Yeah.
How did you go about sort of building community or the community around your work?
For me, it started off supporting other authors, especially from a reader perspective. I've always been an avid reader. I used to go to a ton of book signings before COVID, and now I'm starting to get back out there again just because COVID's over and they have them again. But there is a lot of authors, especially in the traditional space, that were really motivational and supportive. And I know one author in particular really gave me some words of encouragement when I was just playing around writing my story, and she's like, you could publish this, and I was just like, can I? And from there, I delved into the writing community on Twitter, met people through different Twitter events, and developed a community who I'm still in contact with, and we've been talking for years and years, have met up in person. So it's definitely taken my career to the next level, having those people who support me, who've done it before, walked that path, and then led me down the path of meeting other authors who are at different stages in their journey.
My real life community, I guess, well, of course, it started from the core, which is my immediate family and, my very close friends that I've had for ages and ages. And when I first started writing, I just had an idea, and I just wrote it, and then I was proud of it. So I shared the book with my friends and family, and they read it and they said, go publish that. Stop it. Go publish. And so I published my first full-length novel, To Save a World. And then the community started growing from there. I wasn't at first. I was just publishing to do it, and then the feedback that I got from readers and like my digital community really started growing, because I've never been a huge social media person. I'm very much I know how to use technology. I actually do freelance design. Like, I can computer, I can do I've built websites, I can do it, but I don't like it. So I don't want to. And so I'm not on social media very much, but people kind of wanted to talk with me who had read To Save a World and started asking for sequels. And I was like, oh, I didn't leave you at a cliffhanger. And they were like, no, but what happens next? And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I guess I can do this. And that really really helped me to start to build. And then I'm mostly on Instagram because I have a Facebook, but everything just auto posts from Instagram because I don't like social media that much. So I do that, and I've made friends across the world, and other authors from all over support me, and that's beautiful. And of course, family and friends do as well. And I have found writers groups. I'm now the board member of Carnegie Writers in the southeastern United States here, which is just a really great writers group, very supportive, and it's supporting people and especially kids too, to just write and be creative and publish if they want to, and all of that, which I love the give and take, and I love to give back. I've always been, cliche in that I love to volunteer and help people, and all that stuff. So it feels like I'm helping, but then, in turn, people are helping me because I get cool books to read. Hooray, which, we all love. And that's something, since we're talking about community, I want to mention about the author community in general. One of my favorite things is that it's not competitive. It's we're all so supportive of each other because we're all not just writers, we're readers. So we all want to read and we all want more content. And we're also all aware that our readers are going to finish. Like, To Save a World it's a thick book. I've got a lot of cool graphics in it, but it's almost 600 pages. People are going to finish that in like 2 weeks, maybe, the fast reader.